Okay guys, here we are again on VP4 TV, and we have another 8-ball bar table world championship tie about to go ahead. It's going to start in about 2 minutes or so, and it's between Snake Eyes, who is in the chat, and Bedhead, who is down the bottom there. So both players are here, we're ready to go. And let's have a look at the bracket, see where this match sits in the bracket. It's a second round match, race to 11. Remember, there's no handicaps in this tournament, there's no jump queues, and it's on the bar size table, which I think is a 7-footer. These are two pretty strong players, and I'm expecting a close match, and I'm expecting a good standard as well. We'll see how it goes. And good evening to anybody who's watching the stream. Feel free to say anything, as long as it's sensible. So Bedhead, on paper again, would be deemed to be the stronger player of the two, but Snake Eyes plays a pretty good 9-ball game, and I would imagine his 8-ball game might be pretty good, although having said that, I've never seen him playing on the bar table, so we don't know how he'll cope with it. It might take a little while to get a hang of the pace of it. I noticed he was in this afternoon getting a bit of practice in. Right, so looking at the clock, we're probably another minute away or so until the room goes up. Well, let's have a look again to see what happens here. Larry's sitting in wait of the winner of this match, so regardless of who wins this match, Larry's going to have a tough one in the next round. Mr. Bill is sitting in round 3, and he's waiting on the winner of Boots and Lauren. What does that say? Lauren Adlam. Now, I've never seen that guy, and I know Boots isn't going to turn up. I'd be very surprised if he does, so he's going to forfeit. And I don't know whether this guy will turn up either. So the way it looks is Bill's certainly got the easier path through to the final, should he win it. Right, so the room is up, one player's in, we've done enough chatter, let's get in and join the room. So both players are in, they're both going to lag off. Now I presume that's Snake Eyes on the right hand side. I don't recall seeing Bedhead with a green in this queue, so I'm going to say Snake Eyes is on the right. And not the best lags in the world, but Bedhead won it. And he's going to break off. I'm going to have a quick drink if I can find my bottle. Right. 2-ball goes in. Now again, I remind people, good evening. I remind people that it's an open table on the break, so whoever breaks, and if they pot a ball in the break, or balls, the table remains open until they've played their second shot and potted another ball, because that will then deem that they've chosen that set of balls. In this case, Bedhead has gone for the stripes, and they look pretty good. He's going to have to get on that 15 ball to open the pocket for the 9 up in the top right hand corner, because obviously the 9's not going to go there, so he has to take care of the 15 at some point, and he could do that now. He's either going to play a straight 13 ball into the pocket or play a combo on the 11 onto the 13. Well, that's a bit of a testy one, that's why he's leaving it alone. And that 10 ball possibly goes past the 15. Well, it does. And if he played it and hit the 15, he would nudge the 15 safe. So that's why he's going to try and hold for this 15 ball. And he's managed to do that well. Good evening, Simon, and anybody else that's watching. So this is what you would call a pretty solid start. And this a little testy one, a bit higher on the 9 than he would like. And of course, remember, he's still got to think about holding for the 8. He's got to get enough power in this 9 ball though to get it to the pocket, so the cue ball's going to run over to the left hand side, so he's putting a bit of draw on it. And that's gone farther than he would like, and now this is tricky. So it's a cut into the middle. Snake Eyes ready to pounce, but he's not going to get the chance. So that was a strong start, a break and run for Bedhead. It's alternate break as well, remember. So Snake Eyes breaking in rack 2, and he's got a couple of balls down as well. So, and these balls are sitting nice. 2 good breaks, and Snake Eyes will be keen to respond. He's chosen the stripes. Well, the 14 ball and the 12 ball are down at the bottom end of the table as we look. And remember as well, with the 8 ball being at the top of the table, he doesn't want to be playing this 12 ball that's down by the blue ball, the 2. He doesn't want to be playing that late on in the rack. He can run into trouble doing that. So he's got the 13 into the middle, and he has to get this pink ball. If he can find the gap, he can get this one next, but he's still got to work his way around to get to the 15 ball. So this is now turned tricky to negotiate here. There's traffic line all over the table, and it's very easy to just block yourself out here. And he's found a gap. He's surely got to take this 12. It is the 12, isn't it? Yes, it is. He's got to take that. And that's a good shot. Controlled it well. He's slightly more angle than he would like. And this is going dangerously across to the middle pocket. It looks as if it's going to hit the jaw. But he's going to leave a cut in the 8 ball. If he goes all out for this, he could play this with inside English, but that then gets very dangerous if he plays it with the right English. So he's just going to try and roll it in dead weight. It has scratched.
Oh dear, how sad, never mind.
Well, that looked as if it was going to go at the jaw, but he couldn't avoid the scratch apparently. So Snake Eyes had his chance. But the other thing is, he had a chance earlier in the rack there to get rid of that 12 ball, and he never did it. He should have. He chose to take another ball up in the top left. He should have taken that one when he had that chance immediately, and he might not have ran into the same problem. But that's the choices you make, and he's going to pay a heavy price by the look of it. And there's nothing sets the tone of a game or a match when your opponent breaks off. He wins the lag, he breaks off, he gets a couple of balls in the break. That almost went wrong. And then of course he runs out, and you're doing your best to try and match that, and then it all goes pear-shaped. So here's the one that can go wrong. He's got to watch the pace of the draw. He could just draw up to the middle pocket, he could run through, but he doesn't want to overdo it. Time and time again we've seen players go behind the 8 ball on the high side of the 8 as we look near that top rail, and he's left it short. That's what he's probably worried about. So, well, he's either going to call the bank or the cut. He's going for the cut. And then it goes, and it's 2-0. So it's turned out a better start than he thought himself. Bedhead pinching the second rack, and the break goes back to himself. 4 ball goes into the top right, and the solids look the best set of balls here, because I think that 7 ball, it goes no problem, and he can get himself on the 6. Well, maybe not, it's a bit tight to actually make that potting angle, but he could pot the 7 and nudge into these and open it up if he can. We'll see what he decides. He could do it right now if he pots the 7. But then you're relying on a bit of luck just to get on the next ball. Well, he's chosen the solids, but he's chosen to get rid of the 5 ball. Now, let's have a closer look at this. He can get it. I'm pretty certain he can get it from there, but it's tight, and it can easily go wrong. We'll see whether he decides to try and move it. He's still okay. He'll be on the 2 next. I think it's probably... Now, if he was to make it easy, he would just do a kill shot and leave the cue ball where the 2 ball is. The problem with that is he's dead straight in the 7, and he's got to play a dead weight or a kill shot to stop the cue ball there to try and have that cut in the 6. So that's what he's doing. He's having a look at that 6 ball, so he needs to really come back half an inch or kill it stone dead. Let's see. I think he's okay. I think he can just, even if he put a tiny little bit of English on it, he could still cheat the pocket. Plenty of room. So a straight in 8 ball for 3-0. But more importantly, the 2 breaks that Bedhead has had in this match so far, they've been breaks and runs, and that's sending a strong message to his opponent. But remember, there's so much things can go pear-shaped on this table. Start getting dry breaks and things. So Snake Eyes would want to get 1 on the board ASAP. He's broke off in rack number 4. 2 ball has gone down. Still making his decision. And the stripes do look good. They're sitting not too bad. However, the problem ball in this case will be the 10 ball. It's next to the 8, and the pocket's blocked by the 11. And I think he actually tried to get into that 10 ball there. Well, he's got a choice here. He can play the combo, and it's not a difficult combo. Although he would be out of line again if he did. So now you can pot the 11. And that opens up the pocket. But remember again what I said earlier. He's going to have a problem again because this 15 ball is down in the bottom rail. And if he has to leave that as his last ball, it's going to be difficult to get good on the 8. He might be restricted by what path he can take by this 7 ball. So he's got an angle in the 14 to actually come up for this 15. The problem though, again, is the 10 ball. It's just an awkward place to get good position on. So he's got work to do here and the pressure's on. Oh, he's trying to be too delicate. He really should have probably tried to spin down for this 15 and take that chance. And it looks as if Bedhead is just going to eat these up and put them away. So it's two mistakes by Snake Eyes, and it's going to cost him 2 racks. Looks very likely. Now this time though, Bedhead's going to have to take care of the 5. And the 8, of course, has no problem getting to a pocket. And ideally, if he went up between the 3 and the 1 and left himself on the 3, well, I think he's got a good angle now in the 1 anyway. Well, no, he hasn't. He's the wrong side of the 1. And this is where he's going to have to move the cue ball. He could cheat it in off that jaw, in off the 14. There's plenty of room there to do that. It's either that or he runs this cue ball. He played it with a lot of inside left English to send it back up the table. And that's good enough. And he can go around behind the 8. And if he gets the pace right, he can leave it into the same pocket as a 3 ball. Well, now that's an unexpected miss. And now Snake Eyes has to take advantage. He's got the angle on this 14 to come down for the 15. And he's also got the angle here to come back over to the left. He needs a bit of bottom, a little bit of right on it maybe as well, just to make sure he gets himself on that 10. That's going to scratch. Oh dear. Wow. How the hell did that stay out the pocket? I bet you his heart was in his mouth there. Staring at 4-0. And he's been given a lifeline. Well, that's one unforced error by Bedhead, and that has also been punished. So Snake Eyes is off and running, but the break goes back to Bedhead for rack number 5. And what's happened now is what Snake Eyes has been waiting on. He's been waiting on the dry break coming for Bedhead, and now's his chance. And I still think, looking at this table, the stripes look the better balls, provided you can get to that 10 ball to make the cut. And that's a bit dicey in that space there. Well, he's taken care of that problem. And he's chosen the stripes. The 10 ball's now in play. And it'll be interesting to see what he does with the balls up in the top left-hand side. He doesn't want to be playing a 3-ball combo. Oh, that's a poor shot. That's going to be a miscall. A bad mistake there. And his chance is gone.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
You can't make mistakes like that against Bedhead. You've got to be on the ball I should say. Gilt-edged chance there. So Bedhead, not by choice, but he's on the solids. And we can see where the problem is for Bedhead. This 7 and 4 ball are on the top rail and they're not going into the left hand pocket, so he's going to have to play well to tidy that area of the table up. Well, the 2, believe it or not, that 2 would go, but it's very tight, but it would go in off the jaw. But he's got a chance to move it as well when he pots this 1. And he's missed the 1. I believe he tried to move the 1. I'm assuming that's the case, but he'll settle for what's happened here. He's kicked a 7 into play. I'm convinced he was trying to move the 2, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he's moved one of the problem balls and that's opened the other one. The 4 ball. And doing his best to get over to the right, the left-hand side. Had a bit of inside right English on it to help the cue ball across. But this is probably meaning that he's going to be playing a long cut on this 5 ball. He can't get there. He's going to have to get lucky because he's going to collide with these balls here. I don't think he can avoid them. A new camera? No, I haven't got a new camera. No, I've just changed the zoom setting on the camera to try and stop it from cutting out when I'm leaning backward and forward. See, like that. I don't think there's anything to be done about that. The way the software works, you can't be jumping around for the background to stay up there or you disappear. But I've only changed the zoom setting. I've zoomed it in a bit closer. So, Snake Eyes at the table in rack number 5. He's on the stripes. And he's dead straight on this 12 ball, which is no good to him. Chances are now he's going to take the 11 and leave the 10 down the rail here on the left hand side into this bottom left hand corner pocket. He actually wants to finish near the pocket here with that shot. Well, he's gone the other way. He's come out and this angle is a little bit fiddly, so that's why he's going to take the 9 instead, and then he can just draw off the 10 for the 8. But for the rest of this match, Snake Eyes needs to cut out the unforced errors. He's made too many already. But somehow, he's going to win this 5th rack and get himself right into the match. But that's what I said about the breaks in this game. The breaks, you know, sometimes 2 and 3 and 4 balls will go in, and then a lot of the times nothing goes in, and it's all going to hinge on this alternate break, because if these balls open good, really both of these guys should be running the table. So the break, in fact, when you look at it, that was a rack against the head, against the break. It's now Snake Eyes break. He's broke off. The 9 ball has gone. But at first glance, this is a much more challenging table to try and run out. Far too much locking up there at the top end of the table. He would really need to get into those balls. I mean, he could take the 7 ball and smash some balls around with the cue ball. He can certainly cut the 7 up the top end here and start nudging all of these around to open it up. But the other problem is 1 ball, if you took the solid, the 1 ball's down here. And that's a little bit of a problem. So I think regardless what set of balls he settles for, there's a problem to be dealt with. Well, he's made his decision, going for the stripes. And if you look at those balls, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solids all gathered around the 8 ball there, all protecting it. So that's what he's going to have to deal with. Now, if I start yawning this early in the evening, it's only just, 25 past 7. If I start yawning, that's partially because I've just had a big Sunday dinner. So I usually have a doze after that as well, and my brain is on shutdown mode for about half an hour, and then I'll probably recover. So let's see what we've got here. He's decided to play the safety. Well, Bedhead can see the 3 ball, no problem. And if Bedhead can spin the cue ball to the right, in amongst his own balls, he's going to have Snake Eyes in trouble, and that's what he's done. He's locked him off those balls that he really needs to get rid of, and the only one he can see is the 10. Now, he could be aggressive and go for the bank on the 10 ball and try and run the cue ball into those couple of balls there. The bank is on, but he's not prepared to take that risk at this stage. Or is he? Now, if he does, this will be another shot where... No, he's not. Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh dear, how sad, never mind.
Oh, good evening, Polo. Now, just watch your language. You've read the chat details, haven't you? What does it say? No numpties. I can't remember what I typed. No numpties, no something, and no worries. Right, so the scratch has been made. Bedhead's got ball in hand, and he's going to have to shuffle stuff around here. And he can play the 2 and run into these balls and get them moving. He needs to get that done sooner rather than later because he's not going to have many options if he doesn't. Well, easy combo in the 7 if he wants that. But he's not really going to get much purchase into the cue ball to move things. And he doesn't really need to move much if he can get across. Well, he's calling the combo. Let's look at that 4 ball. The 4 ball's fine. But getting to the 3, the way the table is right now, and now that he's knocked a 6 into the 3, they're now in troublesome spots. And this is how these matches can turn so quickly, particularly when you've got 2 players that can pot a ball. If it goes out of line, the other guy's is likely to come in and just run out. Polo, what's the stream like for you? Well, I can't remember who it was, but he was saying it was, you know, it wasn't running smooth for him. That was last night, the one that I did last night. So I went to 720, but I hadn't set it up right, because when I went to try and broadcast on 720, it told me I was set for 1080, so I just left it at 1080. Well, Bedhead's managed to get rid of the 6. He's got the 3. Now, what the hell's he going to do with the 4 ball? Can he cut that 3 and dig into the cue ball? I think he can. Is he going to try and move the 4? Yes, he is. So he's going to try and draw off that rail and nudge it. And it's gone wrong. So now, Snake Eyes should be ready to pounce. Now, I wonder if Bedhead would dare try the little Massey shot around the 11 and try and cut that 4 in. Or is he going to call the kick? He's going to call the kick. Yeah, I've run it 720 on the odd occasion. You do know why I'm doing Switch, don't you? YouTube shut me down from streaming. So they did. I've been shut down for 3 months, and I don't know why. All they do is send you an email with the terms and conditions. I mean, if you read the terms and conditions, it tells you about they don't want you to broadcast, right, a lot of the same stuff, right? Now, I follow a couple of guys who've got YouTube channels, and they do Eurotruck stuff, right? There's one guy, and all he has in his channel for the years he's been doing it is Eurotruck videos, right? And he's still got his chat. Mind you, the one thing I would say is he doesn't stream. All he does is record his stuff, and then he then uploads it. So he doesn't do live streaming. The other guy that does the harsh Russian map, Goba, the Russian guy, he's on doing live streaming every bloody day virtually when he's working on the map, and you can sit and watch him. They haven't shut him down from live streaming. So that's why I decided to go back to Switch, and all I do now is just upload them to YouTube. I mean, why do they pick in the wee guy? I mean, look at my channel, it's no worth a shit. Nobody looks at it. There's about 3 folk watch a live stream. I've got, what, 200 and something followers who stumbled across the channel by accident. I mean, you'd think I had like 10,000 followers. I mean, I don't make money off it or anything, yet they chose to pick in my poxy little channel. Bunch of bastards that they are. Money grabbing bastards, that's what they are. Anyway, I'm off and out. See, that's me started in a rant. Oh aye, of course it is. Stuff the little guy, definitely. Well, Bedhead has missed a 4. And Well, he's got a bit lucky there because he's left absolutely nothing easy here for Snake Eyes. And Snake Eyes doing the right thing. He's just going to bide his time and wait for a better opportunity should he get one. And well, Bedhead can kick the 4, but the 4 ball's not really going to go anywhere. But he's going to... How the hell is he going to get to the 4 from there? 10 balls blocking the easy path to it, so he's looking to pick. He possibly could be going... Is it just the 2 rails he's going, or 3 rails? It's hard to work out. It's such a narrow angle. He's going... Yeah, he's going to go 2 rails. So now this has got to be a clearance here for Snake Eyes to tie this match up. You're the only one that enjoys them, Simon. Right, so the 11 ball, just a little tickle down the rail. But he needs to make sure he doesn't chicken out on it. He needs to get there. Cue ball's not going to go too far. And just dropped it in dead weight. So now we've got a tied ball game, as they say in the States. And we're at 3 racks all. Bedhead, and it looks as if he's come up dry again. Now here, well, again you look at the table, the 4 balls over by the 8 on the right hand side. That's not sitting nice. In fact, the 8 ball's not sitting nice either when you think about it. So if he's going to pot this 2, he's going to try and run into there, or cut the 3 and run into the 4. He's run into the 4. He's still on the 1. The 7 ball down in this bottom right hand corner. If he can see the 4, he can play the combo. So he's got choices here, but he needs to find a way to get down to the bottom of this table. Now, does a 3 go past? Let's have a look from his end. I don't know whether he can get enough of that 4 ball to play the combo. And he could actually run the 3 onto the rail and chip the 7 in, possibly. But that's a big risk to take. Got to take the 1. Now he can play the combo. He can pot the 3 and he can run the 4 down the rail here. But he'd need to be gentle with that as well, just to hold it near this corner pocket. So he's calling the 7. And then, if he, provided he can still take that 4 ball into the same pocket as the 7, he'll be sitting good in the 6. And then he can just run the 5 in, and he'll have plenty of room to get the cue ball. Oh, it's gone wrong. It has gone wrong.
As I remember last time we played as a team, I got the cue stuck in my ass.
I actually pressed the wrong button there. It should have been this one.
Man's got to know his limitations.
That's the one I wanted to press. Now, what the hell happened here? Have I missed something there farting about? Or am I out of sync? I'm totally confused. It's Snake Eyes at the table, and he's on the stripes. You know what? I've been talking for the last 2 minutes, and I was convinced it was Snake Eyes that was on the solids. I wasn't even looking to see whose name it was up in the bracket, up in the HUD. Well, it's definitely Snake Eyes. The thing is, if he cuts that 14, can he cut it gentle enough to leave him a shot? Yes, he can. The draw or the run through and up the table. It's a draw. Now you can either go that way with a little help in left English so he comes out in the middle of the table, or he can chip it in and a little bottom and right to come over here. The danger is you get a bit too much juice in it and you scratch the middle. Well, he's avoided that altogether. In fact, he's overdone it. But he's still got a shot. He's still okay. So, we've had a bit of a turnaround in this match. And the turnaround has came about with the dry breaks that Bedhead has had. And it's now 4-3 to Snake Eyes. We've definitely got a match on. And the 15 has gone. And he's locked up on the 9 and the 14. And I think he's just got a straight in 9. So he's got no option. He's going to have to take the stripes. And these stripes, again, they look good. I mean, there's the only one that could be a slight problem is the 11. But he's got the 13 if he can get to it. But now he's out of line. If he could have taken that 13 ball later on in the run, had he got there, he could have got on the 11. But now he's going to have to, well, try and find a safety basically because he's got no shot. And he's looking to see where if he could just drop the cue ball. What's he calling? 10 into the middle. Well, he's made his mind up. He's going all out for it. This cue ball's going to run into the 5. It's going to hit the 5. I can't see it avoiding the 5. Oh, well, that's a disaster.
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Well, that's the worst possible outcome. I mean, he got rid of the 5. Cue ball followed it straight in. So Bedhead has his chance to respond. And he can immediately deal with the problem ball. The problem ball is the 4 ball because there's such a narrow gap to get into it to pot it. That's the one in the top left hand corner of the table, the pink one. And he's ran into the gap and he's sitting good on the 4. So this is a thing that I've been talking about particularly on that, but it should be the general rule for games like 8 ball in most cases, because you've got to try and deal with the problem balls whenever you have the opportunity. You can't leave them till late on in the run, because very often that's going to be the stumbling block for you running out. You're going to get yourself out of shape on it and then you'll have no option. So he's dealt with that one. The only problem now is he's not left himself a shot. Yeah, no shot at all. In fact, he can't see any of his balls. And Snake Eyes will be desperate to pounce here, I would think. Now is he going to try and spin around? Let's get a little plug in. That'll do it. So there's Franco wanting the link. I've already posted it in the lobby. Right, so Snake Eyes at the table on the stripes. Doesn't need to look at this bottom end of the table. There's nothing of interest down here. He just needs to worry about what's going on up there. Now, if he can get the cue ball out without running into the 7 ball, he should be fine. Well, I'd be taking the 14 first. That would be my preference. And you see where the problem lies, because he's now left himself dead straight on the 12 and he's got himself in the mire. That's why I would have taken that one first and get the cue ball up the table, and it's all gone out of line. This is where your decisions are so vital in what ball you take and where that cue ball's going to go. He hit the 12 ball too thick, which meant that the cue ball wasn't going to get any bounce off the rail, so he left it dead straight, and all he can do is kick and hope here. Presumably he's called, he's about to call the pocket, and he's hoping to get lucky here. Well, is Frankel in the stream yet? Well, he got the 14. Well, Bedhead, a little drop in the 7. No, he's going for the 3 instead. I thought he was going to cut the 7 there. Rhino Shooter, don't tell me that's your bloody name. Why the hell don't you create the names that you have in VP4? Then I can recognise you. Christ's sake, it's a bloody common sense thing to do, isn't it? I think you can go and change your name in Twitch. You can change your profile name. Change it to something so I know who you are. Mind you, when you change your name in VP4 2 or 3 times, why change the happy at a lifetime? Oh, now Bedhead's got a tester. I mean, you get this 9 times out of 10, because provided you get the pace right, these pockets will take it. Cheating it off the rail, it'll still go in. Well, don't say you didn't have a chance there, Snake Eyes, but you blew it. Made the wrong choice. I think he was worried about the cue ball running into the other ball by taking that 7 ball, but I still think that was a better one to go on either of those 2 balls without running into that with the shot that he played. And that's why we're back all square. It's 4-all. And I don't think anybody can actually come to a decision as to who's going to win this. But the break has gone back to Bedhead in rack number 9. He's potted a 5 in the break. And no, it's not a good setup here at the moment. Now, if he takes this 6, can he run through and just land in the gap? A very, very tight gap to get on that 1. That's a bit ambitious. See if the cue ball finished there. Could pot the 1 down the rail, but that's very, very tricky. And he's not really got any way of getting into that, I don't think. He's dead straight in the 6. So the 1 ball is the immediate problem ball. Oh, that's worked out perfect. That is perfect. Now, can he just trickle it in and leave the cut in the 4? Because if he does, he's still got the problem getting back up the table for the 2 and the 3. He's got to make a choice. He can run through and get on either the 2 or the 3 off this 1 ball. Well, how's that on the 2 now? He's struggling for angles here. He's got a slight angle on the 2 and he can certainly help the cue ball get out into the table. But he has to get to here. The 4's not going to be potable any other way. He must find this gap. And the closer to the 8 ball, the less likely he's going to get there. Well, he certainly, I don't think he played it, or if he did, he left himself way short. Let's see how he does off the 3. And he needs to avoid hitting the 8 this time, if he can. But he couldn't avoid hitting the 11. And all of a sudden, Snake Eyes has gone favourite for the rack. Now, does he think he can kick this 4 in off that rail in the gap between the 10 and the rail? This will be a miracle shot if he does that. And what's more, he's left the 10 open. So everything's there. Well, I would want to take that 15 ball and get it done and dusted. I think he's just got a little too much angle in the 11 for comfort to actually just hold it for that 12 ball, so he's taking the 14 instead. He can draw up for the 12 if he wants, but he's just going to have to roll the 11 in, and then he's got the decision to make. What 1 does he take next? 8 ball right in the middle of the table. It would be a bit of a disaster if he didn't run this out. So needs to just draw back about 3 or 4 inches if he's going to play the 10. Doesn't like it. But same shot on the 10, a little drawback. doesn't want to go near that 4 ball. Things can go wrong if you do that. But I don't see any difficulty here. A little soft draw and you've got the 8 into the left middle as we look. That will do. So Snake Eyes is going to go back into the lead. And even more emphasis on the break off now. When as I said in the stream last night, the way that cue ball is right now, that's just where I've been breaking from. Your top half of the cue ball, and the cue ball, if you see that shot there, the cue ball bounces off the pack, comes back towards you, but the forward momentum that you've got in the cue ball spins it to a halt. And if the cue ball doesn't get kicked, you're going to be sat in the middle of the table somewhere. And it got kicked here, and unfortunately it ended up dry. But once again, it's one of these messy breaks where there's all the balls tied up and things have to get moved. I would suggest this is quite an important rack at this stage. We're at the halfway stage of the match, and Snake Eyes has got that 1 rack lead. The outcome of this rack could well have a fair bearing on the outcome of the match. And Bedhead's got no option here, just to play the little chip off that 5 and try and hide behind it. Now, is that a foul? No, he must have just skimmed it. Now, just a reminder, anybody that's signed up for Sunday Snooker, if you've got me on the internal browser, you can just Control-Z and keep your eye on the match. When you're like 40 odd points behind in the frame with only 27 left in the table, you know what I mean? So, a foul by Snake Eyes, not getting a hit on his ball. And ball in hand to Bedhead. So, Bedhead on the solids. And that's opened that top right hand pocket up for the 3-2 combo. The 7 goes past the 12 ball. That's the pink stripe one up at the top end. I'm pretty certain the 7 goes past that. In fact, it's not the 7, it's a bloody 15. I'm blind. Right, forget that. The 7's down here. Now the way it looks, he's going to just run around and out for the 7 into the same pocket, and then deal with those 2 balls at the far end. Once again though, he's got a perfect angle, and he just needs to stun it enough to get up. Even if he just gets before the middle pocket or just beyond it, he'll find the gap. Is he drawing? Looks like the draw onto the side rail and in behind the 11 and the 13. This could go wrong. And this has gone wrong. Well, I don't know whether that was the right way to go. He had an angle. As you look here, if you look here, oh, he's calling that pocket. But if you look here, he had a slight angle to go with top and a little feather of right to come up here and find a gap. But that's the risk you take when there's clutter on the table. Now, can he make that bank? Or that kick, I should say. I think that actual fight, he's going to have to play it with left English. Oh, he's got it and scratched.
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Well, that was unlucky. But like I said, this now is very important for Snake Eyes. He's got a chance here to pinch this rack. So the balls aren't lying good. So he's just going to try and keep it tight and waiting a better chance. He's now opened up the problem ball. And you would have to say that Snake Eyes is looking strong favourite here when he gets a chance. But if you look at the 9, the 9 looks fine. Really, that 9 ball would have to be got rid of first to open up those other 2 that are behind it. That's provided Bedhead doesn't move things around himself. Well, Bedhead tried to tie things up, and all he's actually done is played probably the worst shot he's played in the whole match. He's opened up the problem balls. The 9 balls now in the open, the other balls are in the open, and he's conceded ball in hand. So there's an open invitation and a challenge for Snake Eyes. Although I don't think Bedhead meant it as that, but he's asked him to run out, and straight away here we've got a problem. This is going pear-shaped before he's even started. And he's going to have to go and hide again, I think. He's going to have a third go at trying to run this rack if Bedhead doesn't get a hit on this 3. And the other thing is, Bedhead's had a go at tying up the balls, and he might have another go, although he thinks he's got the angle to try and kick the 3 in. Now, can he get comfortably past that 8 ball to make the angle? Again, if he doesn't have it, he has to make it with right English to straighten the cue ball a bit. He's aiming past that middle diamond. Oh, he's got it perfect. And that is unlucky. Let's see. He's going to try and kick in behind the 8 for this pocket. He's plenty of room to do it. Oh, this will be sore if this goes in for Snake Eyes. And it was well away. And now the 8's in the open, so even more emphasis now on this run out. And that's ideal. He's given himself lots of options here. So it's going to be the 10, the 9 into the right middle. But then it's going to have to be get from the 11 down to the 8, and it can so easily go wrong. It looks so easy with the 8 ball sitting there right in the middle of the table at the bottom end of the table, but you'd be surprised how many times players overhit it and end up behind the 8 ball near the bottom rail. And this is a little bit of a fiddly one as well. He's got to be careful if he's playing the draw, or he can go forward and run around the angles, go 2 rails, and that needs to keep running. It needs to keep going. Well, this is the tester. The 8 ball has to have enough pace to get to the pocket, and the downside of that is the cue ball starts running. He cannot bottle out on the cut but he needs to watch the cue ball. Oh, good evening, Mark. I never saw you there. When did you type that? About bloody 4 minutes ago. I'm too busy concentrating. Watch the cue ball. And that's what happens. He's just worried about the cue ball. Left himself too high in 8, and well, I said it could have an important outcome on the bearing of this match, and it might have had Snake Eyes managed to take it out, but he's failed, and we're back all square. And I think, in all honesty, Bedhead's got out of jail there. Snake Eyes had 3 chances to put the rack away, albeit the fact they weren't exactly pretty and he had to play a couple of safeties, but when he got the ultimate chance, he couldn't do it. And that's because on that second last ball, he just finished at an awkward angle and had to run around those angles to get down in the 8, left it short and left one of those testing cuts. And he was in full mind of where the cue ball was going to run, and he didn't play it with a lot of confidence, worried about where the cue ball might have ended up. So, Bedhead on the solids in rack number 11. A little bounce and he can take the 7. That's a nice shot. Judged it well. Now, can he get into that cue ball and nudge off the rail onto the 6? He'd be pushing it a wee bit to do that. And that's resulted in him missing the 7 ball. Now, the good thing here for Snake Eyes is that 7 ball's a blocker, but he doesn't really need to worry about it, provided he can get on the left-hand side of the table for that 13 that's up at the top end. This is where the problem is there. But you really need to take your time and think about the shots at this critical stage, and he's left himself straight on this, and that's now got a problem, and he's got to make the decision. Does he play the long combo? Well, he's going for the draw. Can he avoid the 8? He's avoided the 8, he's kissed the 6, and he's landed in the 13. He'll settle for that any day. One way or another he's got there. Well, now he needs to dig into this cue ball and get a good stun on it. With maybe a little bit of right. Well, he's going to go the long way about it, and he has to get good on this 10 ball, whatever he does, to get up and out for that 8. Now, let's see what it looks like down the barrel. Well, that's simple enough. 2 choices. You go forward with right English, go around the angles and you'll come down, or you can draw it. Well, he took the risk there. There was always a risk of chipping that 3 ball, depending on how much you stunned at, but he's got away with it. And another little tester, just to make sure you've got your wits about you. Oh, dicing with death again, but Snake Eyes has gone back into the lead. And Snake Eyes, breaking off in rack number 12, has come up dry. Bedhead, well, it's again not an inviting table to try and run out. The problem's down at the bottom end here as we look. The other problem's the 4 in the 14 ball in the top right hand corner. So I think there's a little bit of manoeuvring and strategy to go on in this rack before we get anything definite happening. Well, this could probably be the longest match so far that we've streamed, because we're an hour and 10 minutes into it and we've only played 11 racks. And I'll have a quick drink and find my bottle. So just the safety played. So Snake Eyes not wanting to risk making the move first, and neither is Bedhead. He's just looking to play the safety. Now, as long as Snake Eyes doesn't do anything silly and move balls around, then the table's still fairly safe. Let's have a look and see what he's got here. Well, no damage done. Well, it could be a while here before we pot a ball. I think both players are wanting to go for the jugular straight away, but there's nothing really here to give you any confidence in being able to run out. Well, Bedhead's bit the bullet. He's gone for the 3. He's on the solids. Now, can he just trickle the 2 in and get on that 6? I think he can, because that would take away one of the problem balls. The little kiss off the 13's helped him. Presuming he can get to the potting angle on it. Yeah, he's just going to spin into it. He's got to get this right on the nail though. Yeah. It didn't look that inviting there when you saw it at that angle. But actually, I thought that was a foul, but it clearly wasn't. I thought he'd chipped the other ball first, but so it's a 10-4-14 combo down the right rail that's been called, and he's got another combo set up behind his cue ball. Oh, that's worked out very nice, apart from the fact he's nailed to the 12 and get no shot. Well, he's going to have to play the 11. That is really ugly, and it's just a dead weight roll in to leave himself on the 9. This is horrible. And even if he doesn't get good in the 9, he can easily play the combo. The combo's dead set, that 13 and 15 ball. But the chances are he's going to have to get back up the table for that 8 ball. Well, this is unmissable, this combo. It's going in every day of the week. Well, he's got a very slight angle if he pinches that ball into that middle pocket to get back onto that 13 to actually stun it in firm. But if you send it to the jaw too much, it probably bounce out. But he's got the chance now to get on that 13 ball, that one. And he's used all of the pocket that he could just to let the cue ball run rather than stun it through. Stun it firm, or it probably would have bounced out. Now the reason he didn't take the 13 here is because he was going to run into the 1 and the cue ball could have ended up anywhere. You can't avoid hitting the 1 if he played that now, so he's going to now have to get good on this. But he's got the same problem. He's just going to have to ride his luck. It's all about luck this. He doesn't know where the cue ball's going. He's just going to have to hope he gets lucky and gets pushed up the table. And there you go. He's now got an extremely thin cut on that 8 ball. And this has got to be hit firm to get the pace into the 8 ball. And it's got to be nailed or it just simply won't go. And how difficult is it to see the edge of that 8 ball with the dark underside of that rail? I couldn't see that from here. No way. So the 8 ball called into the left corner. All or nothing. But this for a 2-rack lead. So probably one of the more important shots in the match so far. Oh, I had a good go at it, but it was nigh on impossible. So Bedhead lives again. Now, not got enough angle on the 4 ball to get to the 7. But somehow or other he's going to have to get up there. Well, he's got the angle in the 4 now to stun across. He's got a little bit of draw just to avoid running into the 8. And that's played well. So it looks as if we're going all square again. Anybody want to predict who's going to win this? Now whose break is it? Well, that's a rack against a head because it's now back to Bedhead's break in rack number 13. And the ball's definitely gone in that top left-hand corner. I don't know what it was. It was the 5, so that's a solid. And, well, the 2 balls over on that left rail, it's a little bit awkward, although there's a gap to get to it. He could call the 4-10 into the middle. And then he'd be on the stripes. And then the 9 ball's a bit of a problem on the right hand side, although again it's easy to get to it, there's plenty of room. So the 10 has been called, playing the 4-10 combo. Is there anybody still watching this? I think I'm all alone here. Ah, there's two still awake. Oh, there's Mark. He's still awake as well. Bedhead getting rid of the problem ball. The slight problem ball. The 9 ball. He's sitting on the angle to cut it. 8 ball into the top left hand corner. No, nothing blocking that. But it would be a good shot if we could somehow get on that 13, but the angle's too much. It needs to bounce off the rail. Well, he's still on the 13. He got lucky there, get the double kiss off the rail there with the 8 ball. And that's held him in position. That's the kind of little breaks that you need. But you've got to capitalise on them. Well, now, I think it's slightly, yeah, slightly straight, but he could draw straight back and still cut that, the pink 12 down the rail. Now, is Bedhead going to go back into the lead at the crucial time? Having won that previous rack against a break, it's now looking very likely like a break and run out. When do you get up in the morning, John? Right, it's 8:20 right now. I'll be in my bed roughly about 10:30 at the very latest, and I'm up at 4 AM tomorrow morning. So you're up at 4 and you leave the house before 5. Well, I'm up at 4 and I leave the house about 5:10. And then I've got like a 17-mile drive to work. And then on Christmas week, I'm up at 2 AM in the morning. And I then start my work at 4 AM on Christmas week. Thank Christ it's only 1 week a year. And usually, as I say, when I'm streaming at this time of night, by the time it gets to after 9 o'clock, I'm half asleep trying to do a stream. It takes you a couple of hours to fall asleep. As soon as I finish streaming and my head hits the pillow, I'm gone. I'm semi-comatose half the time sitting doing a stream. That's why I can't do all of Friday Night 9 Ball. I can start Friday Night 9 Ball, but when it gets to 10:30, I don't care who's playing. I don't care whether it's the start or the final. The plug gets pulled and I go to bed. I can't go any later than that. Anyway, let's concentrate. Bedhead now in the lead, 7-6. He's at the table. He's on the stripes. And he needs to find a way to pot a ball, or his last ball, to get up the table to get on that 8. And it looks like the 9's the favourite because the 9's sitting next to the 6. Now, what the hell's he done here? Well, he's left himself way short in the 13. He didn't want to be there. But the cue ball is running up to the top end of the table. But this could very quickly go wrong. Well, he's going to take the emergency escape route here. He's going to have to pot the 9, come round behind the 6 and back up for the 13. That's what it's going to have to be. He doesn't like the 13 as it's sitting. So it's round the corner. Oh, he got that all wrong.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
That's what I'm wondering. It was a sort of half-hearted attempt to pot the 9 and get on to the 13, and it was neither. So, oh, well, no damage done, but very nearly. But Snake Eyes is going to have to, well, there's no way he's potting the 3 as it's sitting. So he's going to have to do something. And he can't do it off the 2 because he's got the wrong angle. Now he's going to try and just hide the cue ball. That might be the best tactic here. Because if we can nudge in behind the 4 and just hide himself there, he's at least opening them up a bit, because none of them are potting as they're sitting right now. So a tactical choice here. He's going to get no way of getting to them anywhere near good off that 1 and 5 as they sit now. So it needs a good safety. And if he hits the rail first and then hits the balls, one of the balls has got to hit the rail. So it's a legal shot. So he's in a bit of a dilemma here. Now, he could pot the 7 and let that cue ball run around the corner and come over here. And if he gets close enough, he can play the safety behind the 1. Now there's a problem. This is going to have to be good to actually hide any of those balls from potting. He could come off the rail and kick in and try and nudge there, but again there's a risk of the foul. We're not hitting a rail. He's trying to hide it, and he couldn't do it. So here's the chance for Bedhead. Bedhead, remember, leading 7-6. In fact, it was probably easier to try and hide the cue ball when it was closer to that 4 and 3, but either way, it's all gone wrong. Well, this is the important one. Got to get a good angle here. And, well, there's a big enough window. Most of the pockets there, 7/8 of the pockets open. So now we're going to have daylight, and it's daylight at the wrong end of the match here for Snake Eyes. Bedhead going into a 2-rack lead. I mean, see when you get home from work, see when I get home from work in the afternoon, if I finish my shift at 2, it takes me, what, maximum 20 minutes to get home. And I get in, I get the kettle on, I get a cup of tea, and I have something to eat. And within 15 minutes of having something to eat, I've got the TV on, my feet up, and whatever the hell I'm watching, I never see the end of it. I usually have a nap in the afternoon. And I mean, in all honesty as well, I should be in my bed right now at this time. So I'm getting about 7 hours sleep, but I barely get, what, 5 hours a night if I'm lucky. So Bedhead, once again, has made the choice. It's solids. Now, going back to the problem ball situation, there's the problem ball there. Why is it a problem ball? Because you have to get on it at a certain angle to make the cut. This is in your line slightly. And the other problem is, if you leave it too late, look where the 8 ball is. You've got the 4 ball here, but even then, look at the clutter that's rounding about where the 8 ball is, where the path of the cue ball would be going. So this isn't cut and dried here for Bedhead. Yeah, he's trying to get up to this end of the table or down to this end of the table, and now he's out of line. And how important is the outcome of this rack going to be on this next shot? $14 balls fine, it's got a pocket. And now looking at the table from Snake Eyes' point of view, he's going to have the same issue up at this end of the table, because there's his 9 ball sitting there, and people might look and say, well, that 9 balls fine, provided you take this ball first and get the cue ball across here. Now remember how tricky it is to judge the pace on this table, because these guys aren't used to this table. And the other problem is, now that Bedhead's done that, Snake Eyes has now got a problem with the 13. So the table's getting uglier by the second, and the chances for Snake Eyes running out are getting slimmer. He's going to have to play 2 good shots to deal with these 2 balls after potting this 15 and whatever else he decides to do. What are you getting a train every morning? I wouldn't bloody rely on them. Well, you get half an hour before you go to your bed, Mark. You're usually away by 9 anyway. Yeah. Now, what did I miss there? Bedhead's type called safe. Now, is he querying something? I don't know. I entirely missed that looking at the chat. Only aye, yeah, half an hour to go. I don't know what the hell happened there. I wish I'd seen it. I wish I had replay. Did you hear what I said the other day there to Steve in the chat, or I typed in the chat? It'd be good if spectators could have a replay button, and his understanding of what I said was the fact that if these two guys were playing and I hit the replay button, he's making it out that these 2 guys would have to watch the replay, and I've never really used the replay function in Shooter's Pool whenever I've played it, but I thought, wait a minute. So I started up Shooter's Pool, went into a game where there was 2 guys playing snooker or whatever it was, hit the replay button after one of the guys played a shot, and I watched the replay and the 2 guys played on, no problem. It'd be handy to have it for streaming. But Shooter's Pool's got it, but Steve never thought about that idea for Virtual Pool 4. He thought the replay was fine for those that were playing, but didn't think it was worth the function for viewers to be able to use it. So where have we got to in this rack? I'm losing track here. It's 8-6 to Bedhead. He's on the solids, and he's doing his best to tie up and make it even tighter for Snake Eyes. And this is one of these racks again which there's no way on this earth you can predict what's going to happen here. It's now ended up in a safety battle until somebody decides they can't wait any longer and tries to make things happen. Well, I don't know whether that's how Shooter's Pool works, but it works perfect. as far as the replay functionality goes for the spectator. But what I typed in the chat was how much work in coding VP4 would it take to put this feature in? And then Steve typed back something like a lot, as well as the interference it would cause for the players and spectators. You know, I think he didn't understand it at all, and so I had to type it out again in more plainer English that he would understand. If I'd typed it in technobabble, he would have probably understood it better, but then again, I don't know technobabble. Whatever technobabble is. Right, well, the move has been made. Snake Eyes trying to open up his 9-ball, got no joy. So now we're a bit of a stalemate here. And I don't know, can you call a drawing 8-ball US? I've never seen that option. Well, the foul's been made. Ball's not hit a rail after hitting the object ball. But it doesn't really change the situation here. I mean, well, Snake Eyes has stuck the cue ball against the 12 to run it into the middle. But he'd a much better chance off the 10 ball to either move the 9 or move the 14. So it wasn't really a proactive shot there at all. It's not got him any further forward. It hasn't changed the situation. All he's really done is opened up the 4 ball for Bedhead. Well, the angle's there in the 4. And can he get through the gap? Don't tell me he can get through the gap. No, he can't make the potting angle in the 7. But the angle in this 4 that he's got, if he was aggressive enough, he could try and run that cue ball across off the side and bottom rail into that 3 and 9. But he's not doing it. So, in case you don't know, Shooter's Pool, you can create your own tournaments, and I don't see many folk doing it at all. You can create your own leagues, although I think they're still really in testing. You've got the replay function that all spectators can use. And you've got at least 2 of the rooms where you've got a what do you call it, a cyber referee that calls your name. And you've also got the audience participation as well when you pot a good shot in snooker and things like that. Well, it's mostly snooker, I've heard that they'll give you a round of applause. Now, does Snake Eyes know about all the rules in this 8-ball US? Because he's now committed a deliberate foul. I don't understand. Well, I presume it was deliberate unless you get totally confused, but I don't understand why now he's given Bedhead the opportunity with ball in hand to pot his 4 ball, split the 3 and go for the run out. I think he's had a rush of blood to the head. I'm gonna have to watch this rerun of this match to see these things that I've missed, because I'm getting I'm getting confused as to why he did that. All Bedhead was ever going to do was pot his own ball and split the one that's tied up. So this has ended up in a bit of a gift. So it's now a 3-rack lead at the crucial time in the match. 9-6 to Bedhead. No, I still don't like this. The level of restricted aiming that they have, it's too high. And the other thing that I typed in the chat, and I told was it Jorge, one of the brothers, and I told him, I said, look, the biggest thing that's wrong with Shooter's Pool is that if you go to play somebody, you're playing in a room on their terms. It's not a level playing field. It's a level playing field because the two of you are playing with the same settings, but the problem is you're playing to his settings. You're not playing to what you're used to, and that is to say, you'll go into a room where they've got aim restriction on, and your line's totally messed up because you have to then look further down than what you're used to, or you're looking further down, and if you're used to be higher up with whatever the fixed setting is. And so you're always going to have that problem. You're limited to who you can play dependent on how they've got their room set up. And the other thing that Shooter's Pool's got is, well, I think, Potman, I think Snake Eyes is kind of losing his concentration here because he played a shot in that last rack that I'm flummoxed about. He's just lost his way a little bit here at the wrong time. What was I saying? Yeah, the other thing in Shooter's Pool is if you go online every day and you go in, even create your own room, go into a room, you'll at least get a virtual coin for doing it. And they add up after a wee while. You're not getting much, but at least you're getting something for actually being online. You don't get anything in Virtual Pool 4. That's something I told Steve about probably 7 years ago when the game was in development and still getting tested. Where you get, there's lots of things where they'll give you something for signing on each day or whatever. Virtual Pool 4 doesn't have it. It's not the be-all and end-all, but at least it's a little bit of return for your loyalty. But you don't get that. So Bedhead at the table, 8-6 on the stripes, and all he's got left is the 9 ball right next to the cue ball and the 11 ball, which is to the right of the pink 4 on the left hand side of the table. But that's the least of his problems. The problems, what does he do about this 8 ball? Well, let's be honest, the 8 ball isn't going anywhere up that end of the table. So he's nudged at 8. That hasn't really changed the situation at all. Well, he could hit this with a bit of pace and come back off the rail and come back and try and come down here and land behind the 8 and at least have a shot up the table somewhere. Oh, that's going to work out perfect. That is absolutely plumb, virtually, on this 8 ball. That was the only shot he had to give him a shot and a chance at the 8, and he's took it with both hands. That was well done. And so Bedhead, I mean, you could say he came on strong in that rack, but really, in all honesty, I think Snake Eyes is just falling away. He's sort of lost his concentration and focus a bit, and that's how he's just sort of drifted out the match at this stage at the wrong time. But he's got nothing else to play with now other than the fact that it was a dry break for Bedhead. Bedhead just needing one more rack. Snake Eyes chose the stripes. And the problem balls are up at the top end of the table. I mean, the 9's hanging over the pocket, so that's not an issue, but... And he can certainly roll the 15 onto the 9. But the problem's that 10 ball. And the 11 ball is only potable from certain positions. And in all honesty, it's only going to go into that middle pocket there. Yeah, it doesn't look good into the opposite middle either. Well, he's on it. But I think... Or is he on it? I think he can just squeeze that in there. He doesn't... I don't think he fancies it. Well, he's decided he's going for it, and it's gone wrong. The cue ball just chipped to 2, and the cue ball has gone nowhere. Well, this could be Snake Eyes' last shot here. He's called a 9. Although it beats me as to how he was going to get that 9 from that side, because he had no other way of getting to it, I don't think. So, now how's that changed this? Well, the 5 cuts. Now, this is something I was about to say earlier on. I'm not sure whether both of the guys are 100% sure about the rules and the shots that you can get away with in this game. But if you look at the 9 ball, the 9 ball's blocked by the 7. But if that 9 ball is your ball, and you're on that 7 ball quite good, if you play and call the 9 ball and play the 7 onto it and pot your 9, sorry. If it was the other way around, I should say, if your ball goes in along with your opponent's ball, it's still a legal shot as long as you hit your ball first. Am I right? I think that's right enough. And the only difference there is that with Bedhead there potting his opponent's ball with his ball, it's not a foul. It just means that the ownership of the table changes to your opponent. Well, that was a good shot. A good kick on the 15. And has he got lucky on the 10? Oh, he most certainly has. Well, this is his last chance saloon. And that needs to keep running. Well, this is a little tweaker into the blind pocket. So this to stay in the match. Now it's 10-7 and the break goes back to Snake Eyes. Well, what are we going to do for a couple of balls in the break here? Well, one's gone in. And it's the 12 ball, I think. So that's a stripe that's gone down. But the 14 ball's not sitting very nice. And the solids are tied up round about it. So once again, we've got a bit of an ugly part of the table at the top end. Right, Mark, see you later. Good night. A lot of thinking going on here by Snake Eyes. He daren't touch those 3 balls up at the top end of the table on the right hand side on that end rail. He doesn't want to open things up for Bedhead. And, well, he's scratched, but I don't think there's any major damage done. Unless Bedhead is deciding to go for the kill. He's looking to see if he could play the combo there with the 4 and the 1, but that's not going to happen. Oh shit, I don't know. I know Mark Stevo is from Leicester. I know he stays in Leicester. I can't remember where Polo is it. No, is it? Oh, is it Burnley? Why not just ask him yourself, Popman? Where is it you are, Popman? Cowboy country, is it? Yeehaw! Oh, like he's a Geordie, like. Why, aye, man. Shiro, Shiro. Chelsea. Right, Bedhead on the stripes. Trying to get up there to disturb something to get on the 13, and that is sweet. Now, it's going to be obviously the 15 next. That's his last ball before the 8 ball. And this 8 ball is potable from roughly where he's got the cue ball right now. And I think that's it. So this for the match. Oh shit, hang on a minute, guys. Hit the wrong bloody button there. Hit the wrong button. And in goes the 8. And Bedhead has beaten Snake Eyes by 11 racks to 7. Well, that match had all the potential to have a good finish, but it died a death for Snake Eyes. He just fell out of it. Well, Well, the good thing though is that Snake Eyes is going to get a second bite at the cherry on the one loss side, and the other good thing is that look at the match that throws up next. We've got Bedhead and Larry, and they're going to be playing in round, what the hell round is it? Round 3, so that's probably some ways away. And if we look across, we'll try and find where Snake Eyes has gone to. Goodness knows where he's ended up. Tommy Hughes sitting there, he's got a while to wait. And I still can't see Snake Eyes. Oh, there he is. Well, he has got a game against Bobby Peru. Right, let's have another quick look across here, because I don't think there's any other matches scheduled for... Oh, wait a minute, there's one. Gung Ho playing Tin. That's not the Dutch Tin that we know, that's some other tin. And that's set for 9 PM on Tuesday, is that? I don't know whether I'll see that one or not. Yes, I will. I'll be able to stream that one, because I'm my days off are Wednesday, Thursday, so I can have a late night Tuesday, no problem. So unless something else crops up between now and then, that looks like the next match that we're going to have. Well, I don't know what kind of standard it'll be, but I'm pretty certain it won't be the same sort of standard that we've seen. But that remains to be seen. So with that, folks, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and we will see you again sometime. So I will bid you good night. Have a good sleep, Polo. Thanks for watching, Popman. Thanks for watching, Bav Jer, if that's your name, and thanks to anybody else that's watching. And get bloody subscribed, for Christ's sake. Right, and I'll see you again. Good night.